Hello, welcome to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I am the director of the Cyber Education Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10, episode number 86. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Grow West, the Technology Council of West Kentucky, KY Innovation, and local partner Sprocket Innovation in Paducah and the Kentucky Innovation Station in Madisonville. It is hard to believe that we are on episode 86, but we are. And before we get into today's topic, I want to do a quick preview of what's coming up in just a couple of weeks. It is our IT Matters 2022. I talked about it last week, but I want to highlight it again. We'll have four speakers. IT Matters is on September 22nd at the Murray State Paducah campus from 1 to 5. Come a little bit early to register. You can actually even stay around late and watch an esports competition, and we'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. But our four speakers are Monica Belak with Sprocket, DeMarcus Pruitt with Google, Hunter Evans with Microsoft, and Brendan Kendall with Industrial Training Services. All four of these speakers are going to bring some really good information for you to hear. If you are a really technical person, I think you'll find some good information. If you're not a technical person, I think you'll find some good information. If you're a student, if you're a professional, if you're a small business owner, if you're a retired person, I think that our speakers this year, maybe more so than any other year, first of all, are top notch, but second of all, are really going to bring you a perspective that's going to apply to you no matter what your technical level is. And I'm really excited about that. So come out and join us on September 22nd from 1 to 5 at the Murray State Paducah campus. I would encourage you to go ahead and register. You can register at the link below if you want to find more information. Check out our Facebook page. Actually, probably the page that you're watching this on or one of the ones that are linked to it. Have information in the show notes as well. So take a look at that, and I hope you join us on September 22nd. All right. So now shifting gears, we started a few weeks ago talking about the top 10 mistakes that small businesses make regarding cybersecurity. We are on number 5 today. So mistake number 5 is not understanding the cybersecurity investments. So what does that mean? There was a time when if you were investing in cybersecurity, that meant that you bought a firewall, you bought antivirus software. If you put antivirus software on all the computers and you had a firewall, then you were done and you didn't need to do anything else. Check that box. We're done. Nothing else has to happen. We don't live in that world anymore. That is not the reality that we have anymore. Cybersecurity investment is not a one-time thing. Cybersecurity investment is an ongoing piece that needs to be invested day after day, week after week, year after year. So many small and medium businesses do not see the value in investing in cybersecurity. That is a really important thing that we have right now, or let me say it this way. That is a really big challenge that we have right now, is that small businesses do not see the value in cybersecurity investment. Or what often happens is that, and I see this locally quite a bit, is that we outsource it and we're done with it. So instead of buying the firewall and antivirus of what we did 20 years ago, now we are outsourcing it. And as soon as I say outsource, I'm done. It's off my plate. It's out of my mind. I don't have to do anything else about it. Or if I am putting my servers in the cloud and I'm using, AWS or Azure or or Google Drive or Google Apps, I'm doing something outside of our network so that I don't have any security concerns. The reality is that is flawed logic. That is simply not true. Even if you outsource your security to a local IT company, you still have security concerns. Even if you're using cloud infrastructure, you still have security concerns. Frankly, If you are relying on a third party to give you all of your security needs and you're not thinking anything about it, you're probably doing more harm than good. The largest threat vector, the largest entry point that hackers use into your network is not through your technology, it's through your people. If you're outsourcing all of your IT or your security staff even, but you still have accountants, you still have marketing people, you still have salespeople, you still have HR people, you still have C levels, you still have workers in your company, then the threat and the potential harm still exists. The reason that the people, the human factor, are targeted so often is because they're inside your network. We've talked about that on this 10 at 10 before. So as long as you still have people inside of your network, and I would assume as long as you have a company, you do, then you can't ever assume that all security risks go out because you've outsourced something or because you have put stuff in the cloud or that you've purchased software and it's going to make you super secure. It'll never work that way. You just can't do that. So it is something that you need to invest in now. You need to invest in security now. You need to invest in security tomorrow, next year, the year after. This is something that you have to do on a regular basis. It has to be a priority. If you don't have any security staff in your company, then that kind of says where security is as a priority. If you aren't making regular investments in security, in the security of your people, then that tells me where security is in the prioritization of your company. So why does it matter and why now? Well, there's some real reasons why this does matter. Security threats don't stop in a recession. I know budgets are tight, it's hard to do it. Why do we have to do it now? Well, security threats don't stop. Matter of fact, some of those security threats are increasing right now because, as we've talked about, some of the global environments that we find ourselves in, which are also partially to blame for the recession or the economy that has the downturn. So even in a down economy, we still have threats that we have to consider. There is compliance and regulatory requirements. What they look like, what they are, depend on your sector. So just because you're not in healthcare doesn't mean you don't have requirements. You probably still do. Just because you're not a financial services company, you probably still have requirements. There's a lot of different sectors that have specific regulatory and compliance requirements. And then all businesses have some level of compliance and regulatory requirements as well. For example, if you have a data breach, there are some, no matter who you are, what size your company is, there's some requirements there. And then cybersecurity is an organization-wide cultural issue. I just said that most of our attacks happen through people in our organization, through social engineering, through poor password selection, through all of these things that we can make all the greatest developments, all the greatest investments in just stuff. And it's still not going to matter if we're not also building the culture in our organization. So it's a must have. But when it comes down to it, there's really three risks that your organization is risking that if you don't make security investment a priority. One is the reputation risk. If your organization is the victim of a cyber attack and it is plastered all over the world that you've been the victim of a cyber attack, can your company handle the reputation impact? Maybe, maybe not. Some companies have weathered it, some have not. So it's really maybe, maybe not. Number two is a compliance risk. There are fines that you will have if you have an assessment, which most compliance frameworks require an annual assessment, an annual audit, something to that effect that's identifying gaps in your security posture. If you identify gaps and then you don't go plug those holes, address those gaps, then you're going to be out of compliance and you're going to risk fines and maybe even insurance lapse because you're not addressing those needs. And then finally is the financial risk. At the end of the day, if you're not doing the things that you need to make the security of your organization better and safer, then you're going to be um, at risk of a cyber attack, of an increased risk of ransomware, an increased risk of several pieces of this. They're going to ultimately cause you to lose a lot of money. There's different studies that look at the impact of a cyber attack. It's a lot. So you've got to do something about that. So, um, to wrap up, there are a number of risks that you're facing as an organization if you don't prioritize cybersecurity. And frankly, that is one that so many organizations don't prioritize because it's hard to prioritize. It's expensive to prioritize, but we must do it. There's a lot of reasons to do it. And I hope that's not a mistake that your small business is making. Thank you for joining us today on 10 at 10. I hope to see you back here next week on 10 at 10. Thank you.